Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Raptor X here with Good Clean Gaming RX. Welcome to your home for Good Clean Gaming. I'm dedicated to bringing you great games that are free of the profanity, nudity, and sexuality that are so common in today's games, and creating a safe space for gamers of all ages to enjoy great video games. If that sounds good to you, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button down below. And if you like this video, you know what to do. With that, let's begin today's video. G'day ladies and gentlemen, Raptor X here with Good Clean Gaming RX. We are back in Star Citizen today, and with the 3.20 patch going live, I wanted to go over the patch notes, some of the significant changes, and basically kind of go over what all has changed and what we can look forward to with this particular patch. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my browser here, and we'll take a look at the patch notes on the Spectrum browser. Okay, so we currently have the patch wave up. Star Citizen Alpha 3.20 fully loaded is now available. And blow this up so we can take a look here. We're happy to announce that Star Citizen Alpha 3.20 fully loaded is now available to all backers. This patch marks the flyable release of MISC's Enterprise level cargo hauler, the Haul C, and Mirai's Agile Racer, the Fury LX. You'll also be able to tour Port Olisar's replacement, Seraphim Station, take on new missions, and try out updates to physicalized cargo. And for those looking to get right into the action, make sure you check out the host of new updates and features to Arena Commander. We've compiled a useful list of relevant links to help you navigate this major update and all the new features. So they've got various different things here. We've got the patch watches, we've got the trailer, the new features overview. They've added HDR support for those of you with the fancy HDR monitors. The Fury LX is a racing variant that's got these little wings on it, but it doesn't have any guns or missiles or anything. It's just for racing. We've got the Arena Commander updates. We've got a 3.20 new player guide, all different kinds of stuff. I'm going to go ahead and we'll pull up the trailer here, and we'll just take a look at that quickly. So this is what took them all those years. Multiplayer racetracks. Very nice. Tank battles. New cargo system for the Hull C. The Arena Commander FPS modes, new missions, dogfighting matches, new dogfighting maps, a new pirate swarm. I'm really looking forward to this one. Shouldn't probably be able to rotate that quickly, but oh well. And off they go. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead then and we'll pop back over here to the links. We'll go over the new features overview. Okay, so Star Citizen Alpha 3.20 fully loaded. And we'll take a look at the different things here. We've got the trailer that we just watched here. We've got the MISC Hull C now, the cargo has changed significantly for that. They were working on these spindles for several years, I think 2 or 3 years, to get these all properly working, and the physics grid and all that kind of stuff. The cargo refactor to get these large containers put onto here. Needless to say, there are a lot of people very excited about the addition of the Hull C to the verse. You've got Arena Commander Racing, so you don't have to go to the different racetracks around the verse any longer. You can just do these in Arena Commander, do all of your racing there, and then go to the live PU when you really want to challenge other people. Or for that matter, you can just do multiplayer racing here as well. They've also got the Fury LX, which is their new racing variant of the Mirai Fury. And they've added some neat variations to that, made it very, very agile. They've got the Tonk, or the tank battles. So you can get essentially it's a battle royale with tanks. Lots of people I know very excited about that. Also FPS combat modes. You've got a endless Vandal Swarm now. And that one I've tried. It's significantly harder than the old one was. So looking forward to getting in and really playing that. The new cargo loading system for the Hull C. Putting all of these different cargo containers onto the different spindles. These are 32 SCU containers. So that's changed quite a bit now. We've got, let's see here, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 24, and 32 SCU containers that are now used for loading and unloading cargo. We've got a new criminal salvage mission for basically stripping the paint to cover up a bad guy ship. We've got the new Seraphim station, as I went over in the last video. And then of course they've got their ship offers. Any new patch wouldn't be complete without the new ships that you can purchase. And then we'll go ahead and jump over to the Star Citizen Alpha 3.20 patch notes and read those. Of course, strongly recommended that that you delete your user and shader folders. I've kept my user folder but deleted shaders. Short-term persistence was reset, but long-term persistence was enabled. So anything not stored in long-term persistence was lost. But you did get to keep rep, money, and most of the ships that you purchased. Unfortunately, we had a bit of an issue with those. Some people have been reporting losing ships. I've lost 3 of them myself. So I have to earn those back, but it'll give me something to do for a little while in the patch. So we've got some UI issues. The default images for the keyboard and gamepad controls don't actually match what the keybounds are by default. When spawning a ship at a docking port, the ship will spawn clipped into the docking port geometry, and the missed Hull C can sometimes not undock. So you've got some workarounds. If the Hull C has cargo as part of the end of the flow, try and request detached via the cargo center rather than regular ATC. If the Hull C doesn't have cargo, make sure the spindles are collapsed and then store, retrieve again, and request via regular ATC on Mobiglass comms. PU cargo commodities. ATC fails to detect vehicles within the loading zone or fails to initiate cargo transfer. Arena Commander client crash on all FPS modes. Scrolling down to the very bottom of the leg armor rental list will result in a client crash. In the PU, Crusader Origin locations transit is possible for turn gates to not open, preventing players from entering shuttles. The PU art character textures, multiple clothes, armor, undersuit variants lost color or are using default base color. Ship components, weapons, laser repeaters occasionally stop firing but still consumes ammo. The Hull C with cargo can spawn extended in a large hangar instead of a docking port. The snub ship clips through the constellation variants in vertical position when retrieved from ASOP. Area 18 Grim Hex players lose loadout after dying in the Armistice Zone. Right-click item interaction menu cannot be closed once opened for personal inventory. AI locations combat AI will teleport and pop in combat. The Caterpillar, all of Caterpillar hull give invalid material message for salvager. Active features, medical respawn, cannot respawn on a ship that has streamed out. The room system does not protect player actors from extreme weather conditions in Lorville interiors, so you'll make sure, or want to make sure, that you are wearing your undersuit. ASOP clicked to store ship at ASOP, but it was destroyed. It's an existing condition. Players and items can fall through the bottom deck of the Redeemer. The Reclaimer bridge elevator interaction is missing. Client FPS will drop as long as players are inside the cockpit of the Drake Cutlass series. Perhaps why those have been removed. I don't have access to that. Maybe that's why. The Carrick's main elevator will get locked in place and begin to spin indefinitely after spamming the floors for a few minutes. I've had several people report their Cutlasses or their Carricks were missing. Perhaps they're holding those back until that's fixed as well. Vehicle maintenance services, ship repair doesn't happen but still charges you. Refuel, repair, and rearm services are unavailable when landed. Personal inventory can enter a state of becoming unresponsive, preventing the player from being able to eat or drink. And Wallace Klim is not visible at his location in Grim Hex. So those are the known issues. Obviously, they're going to continue to work on whittling those down, but those are things to be aware of. For new features, we do have the Seraphim Station, bringing the Crusader Port Station in line with the other stations, replacing the long-standing Port Olisar. Seraphim Station brings many of the amenities needed to accommodate the various features required of a station, such as hangars, cargo decks, shopping, clinics, and hubs. Automated cargo transfer and new cargo packing system. So when you're loading up cargo, it's going to automatically set the correct sizes. So everything from 32 SCUs all the way down to 1, and get the right sizes, pack those all in. It's going to take you approximately 5 minutes or so to load cargo in the Hull C, depending on how much of a load you're getting. You do have, there we go, instead of just the 1 SCU containers, we're now supporting various size boxes to be placed in the cargo holds: 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 24, and 32, as well as supporting various orientations of placement in the grid to work around grid obstructions. There's also an temporary tractor beam increase so that you can move those around with the little tractor beam tool. Salvage cover-up missions, where you can get hired by the Ninetails to scrape the hull off of their entire ship before security shows up. The new Hull C and the Mirai Fury LX HDR implementation. So if you have a compatible HDR monitor, you can activate that to get the high dynamic range. We've got the underground facilities have been converted to the Raptor system. The exteriors really have not changed. The interiors really have not changed, but they are being streamed in and set up a little bit differently, which they've all been replaced in the same positions with the settings they previously had applied to them, reapplied where appropriate. So functionally, they are no different. But they've basically made the background tech for it properly supported now. Some wheeled vehicle handling improvements now, allowing it to feel a little bit more realistic, less bouncy and airborne, that kind of stuff. Ship difficulty rebalance. They've basically tuned the ship difficulty and added the whole pool of vehicles that can quantum travel for any of the bounty missions, both criminal and civilians. So basically all of those, except for some that won't make sense, such as the Cutlass Blue. Criminals don't have access to that sort of thing. And those have all been graded and put into their respective ship difficulty tiers. Vaulting and mantling, air ledge grab improvements. So you can now air grab ledges. This means that you can also jump and grab things, which means the Cutlass Black is no longer safe from people getting in the side door. So close your side doors. That also means you can get into them. And you can also jump onto your back ramp if it's stuck up in the air somehow. Server crash recovery quality of life updates. So this will allow your ships to be spawned back at the last station that they hailed from, instead of back at your home location. Unless, of course, you're working with the Hull C or something, because that's got to go to a landing area that is, that supports the docking. They've also added anti-combat logging, something I know many people are happy with. Alt F4ing will no longer get your ship or player character out of the game. You'll be in there for anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, I believe it is. They say short period, but I've seen reports of everything from 2 to 10 minutes. If you are in combat and outside of a green zone, your player, character, and ship will remain in the PU. So, no more Alt F4. I know a lot of PvP players who are thrilled about this. Notifications and communications settings, they've made this so that you can block comms calls from non-friends and block friend requests from non-friends as well, obviously. Notifications from friend request, party invites, and UEC transactions. The Quantum HUDs have been realigned on all ships, and the Quantum HUD has been updated. It's a much simpler UI layout now. The Argo Mole pilot improvement has been made, so you can now scan from the Argo Mole pilot seat. You still can't use the lasers because that's not an intended functionality, but you can see the current cargo capacity, what you have in the hold, and scan from the cargo seat. MFD persistence, so you've now got all of your MFDs will stay as they are through storing of your various different ships. The only time those reset is when you destroy a ship and claim it. The Moby-Glass background, and darkness occlusion, so they've added a little bit of a dark background to the Moby-Glass now to help them make that a little bit more readable. And of course the mining stability and polish, they've added the rock cooler lifetime enhancement so that they don't overheat and break down so quickly. And they have changed the instability on mining, which means that the instability bug is no longer there, and they've also changed the way that instability works. There are several good mining videos out there. I'll probably do one as well, but I would refer you to Red Monster SC, and I believe Crunchy has a couple of ones up there as well on that. Keybinds have been updated. There are many changes to default keybinds. Active ping is now a hold and release, not just a tap. Flight ready has changed to right alt and R, or you can just hit U. Decoupled mode has moved to C. Cruise control is now left alt and C. The default keyboard visual still has incorrect binding shown for this release. Please reference the advanced controls customization. SDK has changed, several server performance improvements, further planetary performance optimizations, and engine rendering performance improvements. Major bug fixes. Players should no longer spin wildly when exiting a ship into EVA, something that I am very thankful for because that was a big issue. Fixed an issue that was causing players to take unintended damage at the moment of transitioning from a ship grid into EVA. That was also something I've experienced. Fixed an issue causing players to become unbound and invisible to other players. The invisible player bug is fixed. Once again. So we should no longer have invisible players for things like Jumptown, which is going to be dropping on Thursday, the 21st. Very much looking forward to that. Enemy combat AI should no longer be slow to respond or react, which means the combat AI are going to be a little bit more dangerous. The Rock's mining laser is functioning again. The glass material to be blocked on ships has been changed with an activated viewport, the Talon Prowler, etc. Fix that. Fixed an issue causing vehicles to be undeliverable from ASOP terminals. Fixed an issue causing interaction mode to constantly recenter the screen. Fixed an issue causing the star map to not show planets the first time they open it. That was kind of frustrating. Fixed misaligned inventory items on widescreen resolutions. Fixed an issue causing looted items to not be equipable after restarting game session. Fixed medical beds sometimes extracting ships in hangars. That was a big one as well. Thank goodness they fixed that. Ships should no longer show as destroyed when clicking store on the ASOP. Fixed an issue causing NPC reinforcements at outposts to wreck themselves continuously, creating piles. That shouldn't happen anymore. Fixed an issue causing Cryastro services do not offer the option to repair, refuel, or restock ships. The Vulture default Baylor salvage should now be able to be equipped in the VMA. Fixed an issue causing players to fall through some trams and shuttles to their deaths at Orison and Area 18. Equipping more than 5 components in a single save, changes, and equip VMA transaction should no longer fail. Fix an issue causing ships to sometimes not load in the VMA. Fix an issue causing the players to sometimes load in with their character dead, T-posing, and partially submerged in the hab floor. Fix an issue causing the Grey Cat salvage backpack to not equip correctly. Female player characters should now be able to fully reach the medical bed terminal screen in various ships. Artemix helmet's respiratory tube should now fully attach correctly when using the set. Fixed an issue causing ships to float away when landed on planets, a separate issue from blown away in the wind. Players should no longer be instantly down when transitioning from EVA to gravity with a tier 1 leg injury. I've experienced that as well. Deadbolt 5 cannon fire should no longer be inconsistent in its damage to players on foot. Ursa rovers outside the Klesher rehabilitation facility should no longer spawn under the garages, preventing prisoner escape. That was another one I'd heard lots of complaints about. Transaction failures should no longer occur when attempting to deposit harvestables in Klesher. ASOPs and ATC should no longer report all landing pads full despite empty hangars, and that was another bug I'd run into consistently. Glad they fixed that. New Deal and Vantage rental kiosks should no longer be missing. Mining deposits fracture difficulty should no longer randomly change. Refinery terminal should no longer give a processing your request message and not load the interface. I'd run into that one as well, so I'm glad they fixed that. Total transaction cost of renting ships and vehicles that's displayed on rental kiosk should no longer be incorrect to what the players actually charge. That was kind of a bit bad. Players should no longer be able to enter the Anvil Carrack via interacting with the manned turrets on foot or via EVA. Didn't know that was a thing. That's kind of bad. Grey Cut multi-tool should now consistently stay attached to the Drake Vulture weapon rack. Paint should no longer cause the captain and crew quarter windows to be opaque in the Origin 400i. Fixed an issue causing ultra-wide resolutions to inhibit cursor movement and block the inventory close button. Fixed an issue causing lootable containers to display as a red loot prompt that is not interactable. That's very good as well, because I'd run into that quite often also. They fixed 7 client crashes and fixed 10 server crashes. They made a big update to Arena Commander. I'm not going to go over all of this, but they've changed the front end and lobby system, made this a little bit of a cleaner interface, and made it, instead of just having Arena Commander and Star Marine, it's all Arena Commander now. They've added experimental modes, which is where you can get in and test out new features that they're, tweaking loadouts or tweaking balance and that kind of stuff on there. Master modes can now be tested with just the Gladius now. You can't play any of the other ships, but the Gladius can now be tested in master modes. Gun Rush is essentially like Gun Game from Call of Duty. Basically, each time you kill someone, you level up a weapon. Tank Royale is a battle royale with tanks. Team Tank Battle is slightly larger scale than a Tank Royale, which is apparently a free-for-all, which allows you to do like a team deathmatch tank battle. Single weapon elimination is exactly as it sounds. You basically get the Arclight player and begin, a free-for-all playing with just the Arclight pistol. Mirror Match, a single vehicle elimination, didn't quite have a ring to it. Mirror Match equips each player with a communal, no purchase necessary Mirai Fury. Prove your dogfighting skills in this 1v1 game mode when each player flies the same ship. Master modes, Free Flight, Duel, and Endless Vandal Swarm. All of these can be tested now with master modes with just the Gladius, as I mentioned. No end to the swarm, but how long can you survive? Master modes, the detail now. So experimental versions of Free Flight, Duel, and a special endless version of Vandal Swarm will host a collection of features that update our flight model. The original game modes will be unaffected and remain playable. Dubbed Master Modes, this feature encompasses many changes to our flight systems detailed below. So you can, of course, look through this tricording and attitude limiters. So axis combination of tricording and combined pitch and yaw movement will not yield higher accelerations. So highest G accelerations are now forward. Best rotation axis is defined per ship. This only applies to ships using the master modes test. The Gladius agility was increased and boost and regen were adjusted. Master modes was added. Press B to swap between nav and SCM. So nav mode now allows you to get up to your maximum speed. SCM is your combat maneuvering or standard combat maneuvering speed, which limits you to around 500 with boost and around 250 to 300 max speed without using boost. Thrust booster, of course, allows you to boost a little higher. Nav allows high speed but no shields or weapons. Also heavily restricts regen rates. Swapping between master modes is not immediate, so you hit B and it will take you somewhere between 5 and 10 seconds to actually change that. Shield face health is stored in a buffer up to a certain ratio when going from SCM to nav. When going from nav to SCM, that buffer will be quickly pushed back into the faces. The shield face generation from that buffer cannot be interrupted by incoming fire. So, that buffer will automatically recharge and you cannot break it with incoming fire. A new aiming system has been enabled and combined fixed assist was removed. Fixed assist per gun was added. Auto gimbal mode was changed, so instead of keeping the target in an 8-degree cone, you only need to keep the target roughly around your aim point and your gimbals will track. When auto gimbals are not tracking, they will act like manual gimbals. Fixed mode, there's 1 pip per projectile speed group, so cannons versus ballistic versus laser repeaters. Manual gimbal mode now also has a fixed assist for each gun. They've added the option to show precision lines, added auto gimbal display, focused on average pip or focused on target with gimbal position indicators, a new target bracket, drastically increased ballistic ammo. Of course, this is all master modes changes. Removed the N-1 system. An S3 gimbal will now hold an S3 gun with a fire rate penalty. So it's now, I think, a 50% reduction in fire rate, but you do keep the same size. Custom weapon stats for the Gladius weaponry. Shield layout for the used Gladius is now front and back instead of just a bubble shield. Added bindings to allow setting for the default convergence distance directly from an input axis. There is no UI for this yet. Added binding to suppress aim assist if a button is held, used when you feel that aim assist works against you. Spawning and loadout module refactor. So they've changed some stuff with the spawning and loadout. I'm not going to read through all of this. New Horizon Speedway has been revamped, so you now have atmosphere in the various different speedways. They've added some different adjustments to the various different maps, added some VMX and times of day lighting passes, new arena maps for Arena Commander. All the game modes include Security Post Correa, the INS Jericho, and Winner's Circle, which is on Planet Green. Elimination is Echo 11, so they've added a new map there. And Classic Race, the Euterpe Icebreaker, Snake Pit, Yadar Valley, Miner's Lament, New Horizon Speedway, and Halloran Circuit have all been added to Classic Race. They've added new rewards, so if you're playing in Arena Commander, you can now get the 2953 Pirate Aggressor by completing Pirate Swarm. Unlocking grants access to the Pirate Gladius and the Caterpillar Pirate Edition pledge store pages, so you can purchase those with real money. Vandal Aggressor, reach wave 25 of Endless Vandal Swarm. That one's going to be hard because I got my butt kicked in Vandal Swarm. 2953 Master at Arms, win a match of Gun Rush. 2953 Tank Commander, win a match of any tank game mode. And 999 Test Squadron, play every Alpha 320 experimental mode to completion at least once, and you can get these badges. These are all badges that can show up on your Spectrum profile. Some game mode adjustments. Duel mode has been updated to be round based. Players will now face off in a best of 3 match, where after each kill both players reset for the next round. Careful ballistics and missiles will persist between rounds. Control is a last stand FPS mission. Has been renamed to Control. Free Flight reduced max players from 24 to 16 after player and performance feedbacks. So there is a system and balance, competitive scoring, death cameras, lobby recovery, new loading screen flow, pickup balance. So ballistic pickups now reward 100% of your ammo divided by the number of ballistic weapons. So 4 ballistic weapons will receive 25% each upon pickup. Med pens, scoreboard updates, lethal takedowns, entitlement refactor, and communal vehicles. So communal vehicles, which allows us to grant player vehicles or equipment on a per game mode basis without the overhead of entitlement systems. They've changed some stuff for leaderboards, the Arena Commander bug fixing. They've added a bunch of stuff here as well, changed some maps. They've changed a bunch of different modes. You guys can go through this on your own speed. I'm not going to go through and read all of these because the video is already getting rather long. Fix some various different issues here. Lots of those. Fix suicide and self-destruct punishment, contributing to Steam scoring. Lots of different stuff now that they have fixed. Very much looking forward to getting in and playing in 320 and showing off a lot of the different changes for you guys. So I will see you all then. Thank you for watching. If there's anything that I've missed or anything that you're very much looking forward to, go ahead and hit that like button down below and leave a comment, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone. Ta-ta.